Your ex, who's an avoidant, broke up with you, and then they said something that completely confused you. Something like, I don't want to lose you. Can we still be friends? You're really important to me. Maybe someday. So if they don't want a relationship, why would they want a friendship? Does it mean they still have feelings? Are they keeping you as a backup? Or is let's just be friends just a nicer way of saying goodbye? Today, I'm going to answer the 3 questions almost everyone asks after an avoidant offers friendship. First, do they still have feelings? Second, if they do, why don't they want a relationship? And then third, and this is the most important one, should you actually accept the friendship? Because your answer to that last question is going to determine whether you move forward or spend the next year trapped in emotional limbo. If you're new here, hi, my name is Lucia. I'm a dating and relationship expert specializing in helping you get your ex back or to get over your ex. And if you're not new, then you're part of my no contact army. Welcome back. Always happy to have you back. Okay, so question number 1, do they still have feelings? People think that if an avoidant offers friendship, then it means that they've completely moved on. And that's not usually the reality. Avoidants don't suddenly stop caring. Many of them are going to miss you, many will think about you, and many still love you. The problem is that feelings and capacity are not the same thing, which means that someone can care deeply about you and still not feel capable of maintaining the emotional vulnerability that a relationship needs. And that's why, for so many avoidants, they prefer friendship, because friendship allows them to keep an emotional connection to you without exposing themselves to the emotional intensity that made them feel overwhelmed in the relationship. And it also allows them to maintain the independence that they crave, which helps to reduce their feelings of shame or guilt over the breakup. And they may also want to retain the benefits of your presence, such as validation, without the expectations of a commitment. So yes, your avoidant probably still has feelings, but that doesn't automatically mean they're ready or able to be your partner. And that's how people end up getting hurt, because they confuse someone being emotionally attached with someone being emotionally available. And those are not the same thing. And if you would like to help distinguish between those two things, I do offer private coaching. And the link to that is underneath every single video and podcast, theartoflove.net/coaching. Contact me there and we will send you the rates. They are not on the website. Okay, so if they still care, then why don't they want a relationship? And this is where understanding avoidant attachment becomes important. Because think about the difference between a relationship and a friendship. A relationship comes with expectations, commitment, vulnerability, conflict, planning a future together, and those things are going to activate an avoidant's deepest fears. But meanwhile, friendship feels very different, because it is. There are fewer expectations, more independence, more emotional breathing room. It's still a connection, but without the pressure. And that's why friendship feels more emotionally safe to an avoidant. And also, there's another reason, guilt. Because contrary to what people believe, avoidants often do feel a lot of guilt after hurting someone that they care about. So remaining friends softens that guilt. So if you're still talking, still laughing, still meeting for coffee, it doesn't feel like they've completely lost you. Now, this isn't necessarily manipulation. It's just a way of reducing their own emotional discomfort. And sometimes they truly don't want to lose you completely. I've seen that a lot with my clients, where they're broken up with and the avoidant just keeps hanging around, just refuses to go away, is not making moves to come back, but they're not leaving either. Because just because they ask for friendship, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're secretly planning to come back. It just means that losing someone that you love, even if you couldn't make the relationship work, is painful. However, also keep in mind that we can't forget that avoidants often keep exes on the back burner so that they have a source of validation if they move on to another relationship and that relationship doesn't work out. Yeah, I know you don't want to hear that, but of course I have to mention it. And if you are in no contact, which you should be, if you're trying to get your ex back, I do have an app named Silencio that will help you to stay in no contact. And the link to that is underneath every single video and podcast, as well as the link to my book, No Contact Secrets, available at nocontactsecrets.com, where you can read 2 free chapters before you purchase the book. And now we move on to question number 3. Should you accept the friendship? And this is where people usually make the biggest mistake, because they're not actually looking for friendship. They're thinking and hoping that friendship is going to become a relationship again. But those are 2 completely different goals. So you can tell yourself, oh, I'm okay being just friends. But then every text becomes a sign. Every emoji means something. Every invitation gives you hope. And then every canceled plan breaks your heart all over again. That's not friendship. That's emotional waiting. And meanwhile, the avoidant gets a lot of the benefits of having you in their life without having to face the vulnerability that comes with rebuilding the relationship. So you're emotionally investing and they're emotionally managing. And that's why people can stay stuck for months or even years. So you have to communicate that you want a romantic relationship or no contact at all. Prioritize your healing. Acknowledge that you deserve more than to be an option, and do not accept friendship. Now, one of the biggest reasons that I recommend no contact after a breakup isn't because you want to punish your ex or you're trying to manipulate them, but because something has to change. And as long as everything stays the same, then there's very little reason for either of you to grow. For the avoidant, no contact removes the emotional safety net. It forces them to experience what life actually feels like without you, because an avoidant doesn't usually process the full grief and loss of a relationship until they lose all access to you. And sometimes that's when they finally process the loss. And sometimes it isn't. But at least reality has changed. And for you, no contact gives your nervous system a chance to heal instead of living from text message to text message. You begin building a life that doesn't depend on someone else's decisions. And that's when you become more attractive, because you've stopped needing them to regulate your emotions. So if your avoidant offers friendship, don't immediately ask yourself, do they still have feelings? They might. But instead ask yourself, if this friendship never became a relationship again, would I honestly be happy? And if the answer is yes, then friendship might be enough. But if the answer is no, then don't settle for a role you never wanted. Okay? Protect your heart. Create the space that both of you need to fully experience the breakup, because sometimes stepping away is the only wake-up call that an avoidant needs in order to reflect on their own behavior and potential for growth and to finally start changing. Okay? So now I want to hear from you. Do you have any questions or comments about anything I've said? And in the meantime, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos or episodes. And remember, love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.